I had some further thoughts about this periods of football. These three dim-witted old hags, these harpies, um, forcing football teams to give out free condoms to women. Let me just move them up because I'm sick of seeing their faces. The Again, the point I want to emphasize, these women have, like a lot of feminists have done, is they look, everywhere they look, they see so-called misogyny. And yet, what they've done by forcing football teams, to hand out free condoms for women only, because men don't use the condoms. Sorry, not condoms. Sorry, tampons. Men don't condoms. The tampons. Men don't use the tampons. Women do. So now, men are being discriminated against by being made to pay for this service when they are supposed to be going there to watch football, not be paying for women's tampons. I mean, look at it. The reason why they pay for the ticket pays for everything in that football ground. It pays for the grounds to be maintained. It pays for the water. It pays for the electricity. It pays for the telecoms. It pays for the ground staff. It pays for the managers. It pays for the coach. It pays for the the players, etc., which is the most important part. That's what your ticket pays for, and it pays for the food. It pays for the cooks. So when you go to the football ground to go and use the facilities, the toilet paper and the soap is not free. You have paid for it. So therefore, to say that their argument is, oh, the toilet paper and the soap is free. No, it's not free, because you've paid for it. If you're in that football ground and you, as a man, have paid for your ticket, or if you're a woman and you have paid for your ticket, then the soap and the toilet paper is not free. Now, what they've used is an argument that some tickets are given to charities to give to young people for free. So they will come into the ground without having to pay for the entrance and not even their transport fee. Okay, what about that situation? By all means, give them, if they're very, very poor and they can't afford the ticket, they're fair enough. But these women aren't. These women can't afford to go to football matches. Therefore, they should be paying for their own tampons. The reason why football and every other sport put sanitary towels in machines in the women's toilets is because it's a product that is specifically for women. So they have to pay for their tampons. Otherwise, it's very, very simple. Don't go to a football match. If you're going to have a problem with, period issues, then you shouldn't be really going to a football. You should stay back and sort out your problem for that particular month. Why are you going to a football match if you know you're suffering at that particular time? If you are, take extra. This is a specific issue with women. It's not with men. So men shouldn't have to pay for that when they're going to watch a game of football that is played by males on the ground at that moment. By all means, if you go to a female football match, and they want to um, give that out so-called complimentary to the crowd in the female toilets. By all means, by all means. But I think they will have to pay. You see, the thing is, if, for instance, Manchester United have just now set up a female football team, that female football team didn't have to set itself up. They've gone out of their way to find women to come into that football team, and they've given them a ground, the clothing, everything you can think of. Okay, so they haven't had to, as women, say, we women, business women, will set up our own business grounds, and we'll get young girls, go to schools and in the local area and get them to come and see if they want to come and play football. No, they don't do that. They won't do that because they don't need to. All they do is badger the men and get them to provide it for free for them. This is the same situation. They want, and they are going to get the condoms for free, while the men are going to pay for it. So when the men go to the matches, they are actually paying for that free condom for those women. So this is the reason why people, I'm sorry, but this is the reason why people don't like doing things for women, because every time you do something for women, there is never a situation where it's free. You look at Valentine's Day. I hate Valentine's Day, and when I've been in a relationship, I've never ever bought anybody, any female, a Valentine's gift or anything, and that's when the relationship ends, because you don't love me enough, stuff you on your way, because at the end of the day, it's always, I'm sorry, but it always seems to be take from women. This is another situation where this is a take, and what they've done is they make it out, if you don't provide this for us, it means that you hate women. Look at Wimbledon. Wimbledon clearly made it known that the reason why they were paying the top female stars, in Wimbledon, all the women, was because of the amount of sets they were playing. They showed their calculations, and they showed the logic that they were applying. It wasn't enough. It was seen as misogyny against women. But the funny thing is, there were women there that didn't say a word. They said nothing. And they said nothing because they knew that what Wimbledon was doing was right. Well, yeah, it was right. It was correct. There was nothing wrong with it. But they didn't dare open their mouths. Because you see, the problem is when you've got someone like Serena Williams, who, I'm not a great fan of Serena Williams. I don't care what anyone says. To be honest with you, I can't stand her. I'm not a fan of her. I can't stand her. Even though I'm a black man, a black person, I can't stand her. And the sooner she retires, full time, yippee! I'll be happy. I'll be happy. Because I believe that those women there, if they were to play 5 sets against Serena Williams, majority of those women in the top 10, probably top 15, I believe would beat Serena Williams. Or many of them will take her very, very close if she had to play 5 sets. If she had to play 5 sets. Because she was the biggest component of pushing that, equal pay, even though you're playing less sets. So the logic with a lot of women out there is very flawed. And Serena Williams consistently went on, this is outrageous. We need to be paid the same as men when we etc., etc. Yet, if you look at the figures and the amount of money that the men's game actually generates, they are making double the women, and they have double the audience. they have double the audience. Djokovic, and who is the head of the men's union, I think it is, they had a meeting of 10 of the top 10 male players. But they had to have this meeting in secret. The press thought they were going to turn up and be in the meeting. They were kicked out. Said, no, we're going to have this in secret. Because they knew that if anything they was going to say there was going to get out, it could probably destroy their careers. Natalova, as usual, spoke nonsense. They said, this was a subject that was dealt with 10 years ago. And we spoke, why are you revisiting it again? It's done and dusted. Clearly the woman is an idiot and can't see that the guys are pissed. Pissed! And quite rightly so. Women should be playing 5 sets and getting equal pay, not 3 sets. And this is the same situation with the football. They've made it out as if women are being hard done by because they have to pay for something that is as natural to them. Men didn't do this to them. This is natural. They're born to have periods. It is what it is. So now they want men to pay for these tampons for them so that they get it free when they go to football matches. Why are you going to male football matches and now expecting things to be free? What will it be next? Entrance? Women should be getting, if you are having a period at that period of time, women should come into the football matches, or even forget all that. You come into a male to watch football, a male football match, because you're a woman. What then will you be expecting? Meals? Free meals? You know, free t-shirts? Free shirts? I mean, there probably will come a time when football will be forced to. It will be like, you know, when clubs, free women's night. There will come a time when women will be able to walk into a game of football for free because they're women. When is this going to stop? Where does this stop? You know, if men and women were equal, you have to behave in an equal way. Remember, those tampons are specifically for women. Men don't use the tampons. Okay? 2, they are not, the toilet paper and the soap, as I said before in the previous video, are not free. You've already paid for them with your ticket. Okay? You cannot go into that football ground without buying a ticket. You will not be allowed in that. If you don't have a ticket, you can't get in. So therefore, that toilet paper and the soap is not free. Okay? It's when you're in the grounds and you've paid your ticket, you are free to use the toilet paper and the soap. But they are not free because they've already been paid for. So that's the reason why everybody has equal access to the toilet paper, because they've already paid for it before they came into the ground. But the sanitary towels are a product that are specifically used by 1/2 of the population. The other half doesn't use it. Now, it seems that the other half are now going to be paying for the other half to get free stuff. What did the men get out of this? What they get out of it is if they dare open their mouths and complain about it and put logic to it, they'll be seen as you hate women. These 3 women are seeking publicity. They're feminists. They follow the feminist mantra. That's why feminism today is an evil organization. It's an evil organization. And people, you need to spread this around. Okay? These women are not being discriminated against. They're feminists, and they will look at anything they can see. If they don't get what they want, then you are a misogynist. And I'm sure that they've walked into those meetings with that specific tone. We're women here. and we are the ones that are suffering. And basically, if you don't help us, in not so many words, if you don't help us, it sees that you do not like women. You're not being inclusive. You hear it in there. You are not being inclusive of women if you don't give them these tampons for free. It's extraordinary. The guys who go to watch football, are they themselves not poor? Some of these people are not poor. They'll scrape like mad to get tickets, but they don't get things for free. The programs, I think people have to pay for a program. That's £1 or something more than that. You don't get that for free. Why should they? I just think it's extraordinary. I think it's extraordinary that these women are able to walk into a football ground and state that they want tampons, and they're getting them for free, even though their argument is the toilet and the toilet paper and the soap is free. As I said before, it is not free. You've already paid for them. Like you've already paid for the grounds. You've already paid for the manager. You've already paid for the footballers. You've already paid for the cooks. You've already paid the cleaners. Everything in that ground is being able to be maintained by the ticket that you buy. If you don't buy that ticket, then they couldn't maintain that stadium as it is. They would just be playing football out in the parks, and then they wouldn't get the kind of 50,000. They'd probably get 2 or 3, 4, 5 people coming to watch Sunday matches. Why do you think tickets are so expensive? I think it's about 60 quid now, 70 quid to go and watch football matches. People watch the game on Sky. I think this is just another example of feminists seeing hold on a minute, I'll go put your hold on. And to continue, because I got interrupted there. When you go to a pub, for instance, a lot of pubs will have notices clearly that the toilets are only for customers. So that you don't even bother to even ask the landlord, can I use the toilet? Because it clearly says outside on the front, only for customers. I mean, if you go in there and you buy a beer, and then you say, can I use the toilet? Then you've paid for the privilege to use their toilet. Okay, and the toilet will have toilet paper and soap in the males' toilets, and the same thing will be toilet paper and soap in the females. And there will probably be a machine, a tampon machine for women. That they will have to pay for. Why does it seem to me that, again, we've got football that's being targeted by the feminists, the evil feminists, that football have to give them free stuff? You wouldn't get that in the pub or clubs, and if they do, it comes out of the cost of the entry fee or the drinks that you buy, which are quite high. And so they would give women free because they're already paying for it. Okay, you can't get into that club unless you're allowed into that club to use those toilet facilities. So, to say that the toilet paper and the soap is free, it's not. You've paid for it. I keep harping on about it, but it's very important to understand the toilet paper is not free. You have paid for it with your ticket, and therefore it's equal for everybody who goes into either a football ground or a tennis ground. You've paid for that ticket, the privilege to walk in and sit down, and then when you need to use the toilet, because the beer that you bought, that you paid for, the sandwiches that you bought, that you paid for, you now need to expel those, so you go to the toilet. And then you use the toilet paper and the soap that is provided, which is not free. It's free of use because you've already paid for it, so you can use it. You're free to use it, but it's not free. You've already paid for it. I mean, if you go to, I've been to Southend. There's toilet facilities there, which doesn't seem to. They don't charge to use those facilities, and that's provided by the local council, which local people pay for. It's something that they've decided to provide because they wanted to provide that. There is an argument out there that people are saying that there should be more toilet facilities out there, but these things have to be paid for, which means these comes out of people's, I suppose, poll tax and whatever, and that's why they increase the poll tax to pay for these things. So remember, these things are not free. Very few things in life is free. You've already paid for them, so therefore you have the privilege to use it. But when you go into a football ground, you've paid for the use of that toilet through your ticket. So everything is equal, except if you need sanitary products, those are particular to one half of the population. So who should pay for that? That one half of that population should pay for it. I shouldn't have to pay for it. No male should have to pay for it. But if they do get these for free, then it means that the male population is paying for those free sanitary towels, unless, and I'm sure that the Celtic will increase the ticket by 50p or something like that to cover the costs. It will just mean that they will, but then if they do that, it means that everybody will have to pay for that, including men. Well, they're the ones who don't even use the product, so they're paying for something they don't use, and it means that women get it effectively not for free if they increase the price. If they keep the price as it is, then women will be getting it for free. If they increase the price as a general cost, then that will include those sanitary towels in that cost, because it's something that they have to pay for. At the moment, there are machines because they buy these and put them in the toilets. That's why women pay that extra money, because it's the things that they use. We have to be very, very vigilant and careful of feminism. Feminism will destroy the West if it's allowed, and I'm afraid it's been allowed to control and dominate. This is an example here of feminism seeping evilly into, and covertly into society, by an idiot, a 21-year-old idiot who just sees misogyny everywhere. She's a political student who thinks that she's very clever, but she hasn't really thought this through, because she doesn't want to think this through. She needs a campaign. That's why she's doing this, because she's a political student, and this is her way of being able to make future money. Oh, you're the person that did the campaign to get sanitary towels into football. Oh, you're my hero. So you get all these feminists, and you'll get women who haven't thought about it really properly, that this is just her way of getting into her foot into the celebrity door and into politics. She's 21 years of age, and she seems to be the leader of these three Muppets. And Let me have a look. I think it is, yeah. I haven't got my glasses. Let's have a look. Let's see who it was. Yeah, there. I was at the football at the start of the year and realised that. So again, it's just this stupid girl, 21-year-old politics student, Erin tells BBC Sport. So there you go. There's the idiot, in glasses. So this is just a publicity stunt for her. She's a political student. She's using social media to push her agenda, also the feminist agenda. She's obviously been to women's classes in university, feminist classes in university, gender studies, etc., etc. And now she is, you could class it as being clever. I think it's devious. I think it's disingenuous. I think it's really horrible and nasty that you're going around, making out that this is a male-dominated sport. Of course it's a male-dominated, it's played by men. I mean, if you want mixed football, why don't you set up a team of mixed football? And in maybe in 20 years, 50 years, 100 years, it will become as popular as the men's game, or more popular than the men's game. If you really want men and women playing football, you can set up teams to do that. Why should the men's games have women playing in the game? I mean, look, I'll tell you this: in the next 50 years, you are going to see Manchester United. All these teams will be forced to have at least 2 or 3 women playing football in the men's game. There will be two women playing football, either as goalies or even as strikers. But there will be at least 1, if not 2 women. The teams will be forced to have at least 2 women playing football in the men's game. You will see it. They will be forced, whether they want to or not. And I mean, I don't watch football as it is, so I don't care. I haven't watched football literally since the Euro. I think it was 2006. Yeah, haven't really watched football since then, so I don't follow football at all. But I'm just interested in this feminist harpies, taking advantage of social media, and now forcing these clubs to change to their agenda, when I'm afraid there isn't a need for this to happen. This is just her, this girl, wanting to get her name, and she has done. She's now got her name on the news. She's talked to BBC Sport, and now she's going. They're going to go through the whole of the. This is a job for them now. This is a campaign for them now, and they're going to be seen as real women heroes, when there was no real issue. This is not something that should involve football, because the women that go to watch football, they will take tampons with them. If they don't have tampons, they can buy tampons that are there. But because they have to pay for something that they have to use, the football associations or these football teams saw it as being fair that they pay for a product that they use. Men shouldn't have to pay for these products for them. But here we go again. Oh, you hate women. You want women to suffer. It's not about women being suffering. These teams have to pay for these things. It's a business. It costs them money. Anyway, I just wanted to add that, because I didn't add that before and I forgot about it. But I think we have to be vigilant. This world will be, certainly the West, is already going down the pan, as you can see. And it's led by feminists. It's led by feminists, and it will destroy this country, and it will destroy the rest of the Western world. Anyway, thanks for listening. Cheers, bye.